How's it going, everybody? Just business again, back. I know it's been a while, but we're back, and I've got a few topics I'd like to discuss today. So, as you can tell by the title of this video, it's going to be about the worth of an MBA. What is an MBA? Is it worth getting one? Should I get one? I'm going to answer all those as best as I can throughout the course, of this video. So, let's get started. What is an MBA program, or an MBA degree, rather? An MBA stands for Master of Business Administration. It's going to usually be a terminal degree, meaning that once you receive it, you're not going to continue school unless you would like to pursue a doctorate in business or a DBA. If you've got aspirations of being a professor or doing high-level research that require those type of PhDs, then maybe you would pursue that. But other than that, it's going to be a terminal degree, and it's usually going to be used for individuals that want to facilitate their career or boost their career, give their career impetus. Get to that next level, maybe that high-level executive position, what have you. So, and within the MBA, you have so many different concentrations. You have finance, marketing, accounting, information technology, management, strategic, so many different kinds of concentrations there. It's going to really come down to individual need, what you're interested in, and maybe even what career you're currently working in. But that's basically what an MBA is. It's a graduate degree, so it's going to require an undergrad. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be in a business specific field. It does help immensely if it is, especially if you're not too big on statistics and Excel and certain mathematical equations, because that is involved in an MBA program. But there are a lot of reputable MBA programs that just require you to have a basic undergrad in whatever. Now, when you're doing your research, maybe right now you're currently doing research on different MBA programs because you're interested in it, and it's definitely slightly confusing. There's some ambiguity surrounding some of the programs. I mean, you have executive programs, you have or your executive MBA program, you have your online, traditional, part-time, full-time. You might be asking yourself, well, what's the difference? Well, I will clear up and assuage some of that ambiguity right now, and basically just tell you that, give you a little rundown of each, and some things to look out for and so forth. Let's talk about the executive MBA program. What is that? Well, an executive MBA program is typically going to be focused or geared more towards those working individuals, people that may already have X amount of years within an organization. Maybe they're already executives and they need it to boost their career, Maybe they want to get a raise or whatever. Executive MBA programs are generally going to be geared more towards the older, maybe 30s plus, got about 10 years or so experience under the belt, and they're going to sometimes even forego certain requirements for an executive MBA. Like maybe you don't have to take the GRE, maybe you don't need a certain GPA or whatever. Your experience supersedes all of that, and sometimes they're also expedited too. You might be able to get through it in a year. It's going to be geared. It's going to be work around more of your working schedule. Now, if you don't have any experience and you're coming right out of undergrad, you're not going to be looking at an executive MBA program. I can just tell you that right now. So if you're not too savvy, or if you're a little ignorant to the MBA and just the business environment in general, you should probably just scrap the executive MBA, not even waste your time, because there are some bogus executive MBA programs out there that try to say, hey, no experience needed. but they're not accredited. They don't require any entrance exams. They're going to be basically worthless. You definitely want to do your due diligence when you're looking into schools, particularly online MBA programs, which we're going to segue into right now. An online MBA program, you want to be kind of leery of. Now, not to say that there aren't reputable online MBA programs, because there certainly are. But you want to look into the school. It's whether or not it's accredited, what it's accredited by, and just the reputation of the MBA program itself. Sometimes an online program is all you can do. You've got a family. You've got time constraints. Sometimes it's all you got. You need an MBA, or you want to pursue an MBA. Sometimes that's the only route you can take. Now, again, things to look out for. Requirements. If an online MBA program doesn't require any sort of like a GRE or a GMAT or very low GPA requirement, I would pass on it. It's probably a degree mill or some kind of worthless program that employers generally pop right in the trash, unfortunately. And they're usually very overpriced too. We'll get into pricing in a little bit here. I would recommend, of course, a traditional MBA program. It's what I did. It's basically going to be an on-campus. Might even have some virtual. You might even have some hybrid-type classes, especially with the environment we currently operate in. But you're going to be looking at those schools that are offering the programs traditionally, typically 2 years, part-time, maybe 3 to 5. I would recommend that, but again, that's just me. So, is an MBA worth it? You might be asking yourself that. Well, you have to look at a few different factors here. Let's look at one. Return on investment. I mean, is it worth your time? If you just love school and you want to learn and you don't typically need it, I mean, of course, it's going to come down to individual need. But, I mean, maybe you just like learning. Maybe you just want to have it to put on your resume. Well, then that's going to be something you're going to have to ask yourself, Maybe you need it for your job. You want to get into those high-level positions. And the industry in which you operate requires high-level executives to have those MBAs. Well, then you might want to consider getting one because it's going to definitely facilitate you getting into those positions. In some cases, certain industries, you can't even advance without one. It's really going to depend on your goals, your professional and personal goals. I mean, also, is it worth it financially? You got to ask yourself that. I mean, MBA programs, they're not cheap. Even for a budget MBA program, at a lower tier level, lower level tier school or whatever, you're still looking at 35 grand. It can go all the way up to over 100 grand depending on the program and the school. If you're going to Harvard or if you're going to one of those top tier schools, you're gonna be spending some money. So if you're planning on financing completely off of student loans, you definitely want to make sure the ROE is going to be worth it. Your return on investment. Last thing you want to do is have a $100,000 MBA degree hanging on your wall and you can't pay it back because it's just worthless to you. So that kind of segues us into, should you even get an MBA? Well, again, it might not even be worth it. You might not even need, here's the thing, you might not even need an MBA degree. A lot of industries, hospitality, retail, food industry, if you're trying to work your way up to corporate or to those higher level, management positions, they don't always require MBAs. As a matter of fact, most of the time they don't. Most of the time, those people don't have MBAs. If you're wanting to be, CFO of the place, But one thing I always say is that nothing can replace hard work. No degree, no certificate, no license can replace hard work. You can have all the degrees in the world, but if you have no experience under your belt, you have no You got to pay your dues. That's what I say. Nothing replaces hard work. So if you are working in an industry that typically doesn't have MBA degree holders, you might not even need it. Hard work will get you there. Hard work and time and grade, unfortunately, that's the way it works. You're not going to get your MBA degree and step into the executive suite. It's just not going to happen. It's all about hard work. If you want my honest advice, and say you have your undergrad in finance and you're working in banking, you're working as a financial analyst or whatever, and you want to get up to those executive level positions, maybe you're 23, 24 years old. My advice would be to work at the same company. You don't want to jump around a whole lot. My advice would be to work at the same company, find a good company that treats you well and stay there for 5 to 10 years, and then look into executive MBA programs. Your job might even pay for it. But if that's not an option and you're doing a traditional MBA, you definitely want to just be cautious of the fact that you're not going to step into the executive squash room and be batting 1,000 when you get your degree. You got to put in the time. And that's why I say, nothing can replace hard work. So you may not even need an MBA. May not even be needed for what you're doing. Again, it's going to come down to individual need, and what you want to do. If you're wanting to go take the CPA exam, you have to have X amount of graduate credits. You might get an MBA in accounting because you're going to get those credits you need to sit for that CPA exam, and it's also going to be advantageous for whatever career you go into as a CPA, help you get into those CFO positions and so forth. But if you're working at Walmart and you're trying to get up to corporate level, you just simply don't need one. It'd be a waste of time and money, probably. Not to say that you shouldn't get one, because if you really want to, again, it's going to come down to individual need. If you just really love school and you got the time and you got the money, then hey, go for it. But that's going to wrap up this video. I hope it was somewhat informative. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please comment, and I will definitely help you out. If you need anything, help choosing a program or whether or not you should get one, if you're trying to weigh the options, return on investment, I could definitely be a consultant for free and help you out. So that's going to be it for now. Until next time, it's just business, and I'll see you later.